Hello and welcome to Dead Letter Movie Chat, episode 30,
30
recorded
XXX
August 8th,
30 30.
2016. I'm Tim,
I'm Andrew.
and we're talking tonight about the new DC Extended Universe movie, Suicide Squad. Man, what a mouthful, and what a movie. What a mess this was.
Yes.
So, the basic premise is here are a whole bunch of supervillains, mostly out of Batman's Rogues Gallery, who have been captured. They're in prison or in Arkham Asylum or whatever, and Amanda Waller thinks she can leverage them into going and risking their lives for her agenda. And
Yeah. Which may or may not be for the good of humanity.
yeah, and is mostly right. But here's the thing. That's the setup, and that's all you really need to know about this movie, because nothing else makes any sense at all.
Nope. The film is a. I'm not the kind of person that likes to say that something is trash or garbage, because anyone who says that on the internet hasn't actually watched enough trash and garbage. But the word I want to use to describe this film is disaster, and maybe also fiasco. It's
Yeah,
it's
I'll
yeah,
I'll go with hot mess.
hot mess. Yes, that's a pretty good way to put it. Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
you
there
go
are
to.
lots of really talented actors in here, and mostly turning in pretty good performances. But the script gives them so little to work with that their narrative is completely disjointed. There's sort of a central bad guy, but that really comes out of nowhere and seems very contrived. And so
Basically, she's Gozer.
yeah,
Is what she came up as.
yeah,
She just
yeah,
seemed like Gozer. Um,
basically straight out of Ghostbusters.
yeah, and I don't know, man. It's like you're right. Everything is just about every single problem this movie has to deal with the fact that its script sucks. It just, I mean, I don't like using the word like such strong language as sucks, but I mean, like, I have no other word. It's just sucks. It just needs to get written and written again and written maybe three more times, and then pay a very high, like a Pulitzer Prize winning person to like look at it over the weekend, and then written again, and like,
Yeah,
like
this movie probably needed to cook a little longer before they actually got going on it.
yeah, like I
And
feel like they needed to have seen The Hateful Eight before they saw the before they started making this movie. Um,
yeah,
as much as as many problems I had with that movie, I mean, like that was a movie that took unlikable characters and
made
used
them
them.
interesting to watch.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I couldn't get invested in any of these characters. They were paper thin. A couple that kind of sort of had a little bit of character depth didn't have real proper arcs. Yeah, Will Smith as Deadshot and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, pretty good performances, but the script just does not serve them. We're given some backstory, a little bit of origin about Harley Quinn, but I found it not really plausible and inconsistent within itself. And Deadshot, he's a contract killer. He murder for hire. He's a hitman. But apart from that, they sort of made him, oh, he's just a dude, normal dude, says normal dude things, does normal dude things, loves his little girl.
Just needs a paycheck. Is really
Yeah,
good at shooting people. That's just the thing.
yeah,
Um,
and that okay, Deadshot's supposed to be a little more of a gray character to begin with, but I mean this just felt I wasn't really getting the dichotomy. He's a bad person. He does bad things. Yeah, he loves his kid, but that doesn't mean he's a good or okay person. These characters are really supposed to be villains, not
mhm.
kind of gray, sort of in a murky area. And I
Yeah.
didn't get that here at all. In fact, I didn't really get much of anything from them as far as who they are or what they're about.
Hmm. I mean, they're fun to watch. I mean, like, I'm not gonna like. I mean, the film is still entertaining. I still had a good time, and these are characters that are interesting to see do stuff. But that's kind of it. They just do stuff, and that's not exactly exciting when you, because I feel like in a lot of ways this is trying to be DC's Guardians of the Galaxy, and
A lot of
probably so.
ways. Yeah.
Probably some of that is the fact that there is way too many pop songs, and by pop songs I mean popular music, not necessarily Katy Perry or something like that. But I mean, like, there is so many scenes. Just about every time they use a well-known song, I was like, this needs to not be here. Like, I know it worked in Guardians of the Galaxy, and the fact that it worked in Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of weird. They kind of lucked out on that, but here it just made everything just seem empty. Um, and like that, that tie into Guardians of the Galaxy is one thing, but the other thing is, like, Guardians of the Galaxy is a bunch of not particularly superhero-esque people going to save the day. But the thing is, they are still, I mean, they're anti-heroes, but they're still heroes. Whereas these are, like Tim said, straight up villains. And although that's an interesting idea, I think they picked the wrong kind of concept to like shoot for. I mean, like, it feels like if they're trying to make a Guardians of the Galaxy type movie, these are not the characters you make that with.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you do that with more, sort of an anti-hero or an unexpected hero. These are straight up the bad guys. And
Yeah.
a few times the movie tries to remind us, oh, hey, they're the bad guys, but it sort of fell flat. I mean, for all that the performances were good, there was no real chemistry among the cast or characters, which is really unfortunate.
I don't know. Do you not really see chemistry between the Joker and Harley? I mean, you and I both said that, like, before we were recording. You and I both said that the Joker doesn't have his whimsy. He just has psychotic. And that's a script thing. He's underwritten, and
Sure.
It's not his movie. It's everyone else's movie, and so we don't necessarily need him to be that fleshed out of a character. But you don't think that Margot and Jared don't quite have the.
I'll allow. There's a little bit of something there, but it didn't seem quite right, even for the whole universe they're trying to build. I mean, I have seen the other two movies, so
I have not, so
Yeah.
there's that caveat with me.
So, but even there, like I said, I didn't really buy all the backstory that they gave Harley Quinn, and
Well, we didn't need the two origin scenes.
right, yeah, and like you just said, I mean, this isn't supposed to be the Joker's movie, but he's in it an awful lot for this not
He
being
is.
his movie, and some
Yeah,
of the other
it's
characters who are part of the titular squad, they don't really have a whole lot to do. They're barely on screen, and you don't really notice or care when they are.
it's the characters of Captain Boomerang and Katana, and maybe even Killer Croc probably could have been deleted from this, but then we only would have had like a three-person squad, really. Um, which really wouldn't have made for much. I mean, like, the mod squad, I think, was only four people, but
Sure.
still, I mean, like, it's not much of a squad. So I don't know. It's you feel like the other characters are, with the exception of Deadshot, Harley, and, well, even then, like, even, El Diablo is not exactly particularly amazing either. Just really those two are the ones that, like, really make, like, they're the most interesting ones to watch. They're the ones with the most screen time. It's really more their story than anyone else's.
Yeah,
But
but they can't
those
really
other
carry the
characters,
movie.
yeah,
It's too disconnected. It's not cohesive enough to hold together, and those characters can't hold it up.
yeah, and that's it's kind of a shame because this movie, I mean, it is fun. I mean, like, so it does, at least it gets the goal of me having at least a fun time.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes me,
I'll give it
I
that too.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't feel like I don't feel like I wasted time watching this movie. I did leave the movie feeling like I said, it's a disaster and a bit of fiasco. I did, like, I still had like a good time, which is a big part of summer movies.
Sure.
At the same time, though, I felt like there was something that this needed to be better.
Yeah.
And you felt like what they had was supposed to be better, and it just isn't.
Yeah.
Like,
This was poorly executed, and it is a real shame. It's an awful waste of a lot of great talent and frankly material. Most of
yeah,
these characters can be interesting and have been in other media, in the comics and television and such, other places that they've appeared before. Here, they mostly just aren't. So, I mean, but I was mildly entertained, for a cheap summer popcorn movie, but it could have been a lot tighter. I felt like there was a lot of cruft things that were tacked on or,
Yep.
contrived or too convenient. A lot of
Yeah.
coincidences.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole list of cons.
Well, I think before we were recording, you said that for all the effort and money that went into this movie, it needed to be more than mildly entertaining.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like the question I found myself leaving the film was, is this how does this stack up against Batman and Robin? Mind you, I was 12 when Batman and Robin came out, so I was of course entertained, but I still knew when I was 12 that it wasn't a good movie. And so like this is the thing. It'll probably be a week before I decide where this stacks up. But right now, it's maybe about as good. I'm unsure. I found myself not to begrudge David Ayers. David Ayers, no. Well, the directors.
Yeah.
The directors.
Yeah, writer director David Ayer.
Yeah, not to begrudge his work and process because he wrote Training Day. I mean, like he's a capable storyteller, but at the same time, I kept feeling like, man, I wish Robert Rodriguez made this movie. Because if you look at how Sin City's done, he would have that's a movie full of basically terrible people doing terrible things, but you love them, and it works really well, and it's a really good ensemble movie. Whereas this just comes off as montages, bad song choices, and violence, and which Robert Rodriguez very easily could have done and probably did do with the second Sin City movie, which I didn't see, so who knows. So like that's something I kind of left the theater being like there are other capable people that maybe would have been a better fit for this movie. Robert Rodriguez wants to make his own thing, so I can understand why he wouldn't do this, but that was something I kept kind of wishing had happened instead. Really, I wanted 2005 Robert Rodriguez to make the movie, but whatever.
Yeah. So I was certainly more entertained by this movie than I was Batman v Superman.
And that's worth something.
Yeah. There could have been a lot fewer characters and a lot fewer things in it, and it could have been quite a lot shorter and much tighter and still had a lot of the same problems, and we wouldn't have cared as much because it would have been much more focused, faster paced, and we wouldn't have had time to think about all these problems necessarily, and we would have still been entertained. All the entertaining stuff could have still been there. Still wouldn't have been a good movie, but it would have been better. Even
we
with
would have woken up
even with all these other flaws. So
yeah, those other flaws would have come to us while we were getting a snack in the middle of the night.
Right.
Like it wouldn't have been, it would like you and I were in the theater. We were having these problems. So,
yeah. But I like I said, I was still entertained by it. So, I will give it a flat C. It's not good, but it's not entirely terrible. It's not completely devoid of value. Like you said, I didn't feel like it was time wasted. Yeah, I had fun, which is worth something.
Yeah, I am going to be a little more critical about it than Tim is, but this is probably because I haven't seen the other two movies. So this is my first DC Extended Universe movie, so I'm probably going to be meaner about it. I am going to go the math class thing where you need to get a C minus to do better kind of thing. This does not quite get that. This is more of a D plus movie for me. Yes, I was entertained. Yes, I had an all right time, but I don't think they need a do-over. Like they need to retake the superhero. They need to retake the superhero making a movie class and try again. I'm not saying they're really going to try again in like 8 years reboot this like they did with Spider-Man, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So I guess that's it for Suicide Squad between me and Tim.
This is not a recommendation, folks.
It's not a recommendation. If you are interested in watching the other movies, wait to DVD on this one. I don't know how important it's going to be. Harley Quinn is still a fun character. I do feel kind of bad for Margot Robbie because I feel like every movie I've seen her in, she's just objectified as being a pretty woman, but she's still fun. So yeah, it's so. I mean, like if they make a Harley Quinn movie, I will go see it. If only because she's a fun character. If they made a Deadshot movie, I'd probably think about seeing it too.
I'd think about it.
I'd think about it.
I'd probably still go. I mean, I went to this. So
Yeah, you went to this, so
anyway, that's Suicide Squad. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
bye.